Hey everyone, Vegan Pete here from She Heals I Tank, back for another episode of Drink About Eorzea. I know it's been a while, I'm sorry we've been away, but we had a beautiful honeymoon. We're back again. We're making Nero's Negroni for you today. And what you're going to need for this is mezcal, which is kind of like a smoky tequila type liquor, Campari, which is a very bitter liquor, and sweet vermouth to kind of balance out the bitterness of this drink. But I thought this is a very bitter drink, just so you know. But that makes sense because Nero's a pretty bitter character as well. He's always harbored a little bit of ill will against Cid, and I think it was very fitting since we finished off this main story quest with Nero. So let's go ahead, let's get started and make Nero's Negroni. Okay, so we're going to start with a pint glass with 3 or 4 ice cubes, however many you want to use. This is just going to be our stirring glass. And for this drink, we're going to be using mezcal, Campari, and sweet vermouth. And we're going to do equal parts. We're going to do 1.5 ounces of each. So we'll start with the mezcal, 1.5 ounces. And we'll do some sweet vermouth, 1.5 ounces. And then 1.5 ounces of Campari. And then you can use a stirring spoon, or I prefer a chopstick. And we're just going to stir this around to get it nice and cold. And you can just strain this out into a cup or glass with no ice in it. I prefer to strain it into one with an ice cube in there. I like it nice and cold. But do whatever you prefer. So once that drink is nice and cold and stirred up, we're going to strain it into our old-fashioned glass. And we'll go ahead and garnish it with a lemon zest. And that is the Nero Negroni. Alright, let's see how Nero's Negroni tastes. We're going to go ahead and just drop your lemon zest in your drink. Swirl it around a little bit. Get a little bit of that lemon bitterness in there. And we're going to give it a taste. I really like how the smokiness of the mezcal mixes with the bitterness of the Campari. I know Avi is not a fan of the mezcal. If you're not a fan of that smoky flavor, you can do a traditional Negroni and use gin. Or you can switch it up and see how a bourbon or a whiskey tastes in there as well. So just know it is a slightly bitter drink. But cheers, enjoy. Be sure to listen to She Heals I Tank podcast, your weekly Final Fantasy XIV podcast. And follow us on Twitter at She Heals I Tank. Goodbye.